Good morning, Nova Nation. It's WXVU Sports Director David Szczepanski. Once again here on West Campus, the train station behind me. I always try to highlight some different areas on campus here in my videos when I am not at arenas or on the road. Villanova getting ready to take on DePaul tonight at 9 p.m. in Chicago, Illinois. The Wildcats desperately searching for a win. They have lost 5 of their last 6 games after a really disappointing 62-60 loss against Creighton on Saturday at the Wells Fargo Center. And for Villanova, they just need to find any way to just scratch out a victory. And luckily for them, they're playing a DePaul team that is towards the bottom of the Big East Conference. They have a losing record overall this year. They're 11-12. They're also just 2-10 in conference play this season are the DePaul Blue Demons. Their only 2 conference wins have come against Seton Hall and Georgetown. And Villanova already beat DePaul by 44 points in early January. Now, where the Wildcats were in early January to begin 2025 is a much different spot, much different place than where they are right now. Like I said, they have lost 5 of their last 6 games and desperately searching for any win possible. And Villanova, this is not going to be an easy game against DePaul here on the road. DePaul has played tough at home this year. They almost beat Marquette in Chicago at Wintrust Arena a couple weeks ago. And Villanova has really struggled on the road. They're just 1-5 in away contests this season. Villanova, though, trying to remain competitive, remain in the Big East Conference, and this is a win that they really have to have if they want any chance of making the tournament. But really, I think a lot of their games now, as Villanova is 12-10, they already have 10 losses. I think a lot of their games have to be getting them ready for the Big East tournament, because that is the most likely and probably the only avenue that they will have of making March Madness is by winning the Big East tournament in March in New York City. So, but it starts here. You have to start playing good basketball once again. And even though Villanova was competitive against Creighton, you have to find a way to pull out wins. It's not just about remaining competitive for 40 minutes. This Villanova program expects to make March Madness, expects to play good basketball, and they have to find a way to pull out some of these wins close late in games. Luka Poplar, 24 points against Creighton on Saturday in South Philadelphia, so he's always a player to watch for Villanova in this game. But also Eric Dixon, right, as he continues, he's less than 20 points away from tying John Pannone for 8th place in Villanova program scoring history. So that's a feat that definitely you want to keep an eye on. I believe he's 16 points away coming into this game tonight at DePaul, so you would think with Dixon still averaging around 24 points per game that he would get there tonight against DePaul. He scored over 20 points against the Blue Demons in the first game in January, so we'll keep an eye on that. He also became the 12th player on Saturday by reaching 2,000 points. He reached 2,000 points. He became the 12th player in both Villanova men's and women's program history to eclipse 2,000 points in his college career. So congratulations to Eric Dixon. Dixon still leading the country with about 24 points per game. As for the DePaul Blue Demons, as I said in the open, they come into this game just 2-10 in conference play. They are coming off of a win against Seton Hall, but when you look at their stats overall this season and then match it up to what they have done in conference play, it is a clear difference. This team's defense has really struggled. They're allowing about 78 points per game against Big East competition this season. So when you think about how Villanova's defense has really struggled this year, and you think about a DePaul's defense has really struggled. Probably 2 of the worst defenses when you look at analytics going to battle tonight in Chicago, Illinois. So that's something to keep an eye on. In terms of their offense, DePaul's offense is not explosive. Overall this season they're averaging about 73, 74 points per game. But a lot of those points and a lot of those higher scoring games came against weaker non-conference competition. In conference play, they are scoring under 70 points per game, about 68 points per contest. So in terms of leading scorers, CJ Gunn and Jacob Mayer are both leading the way with 12 points per game. Gunn had a really good performance against Seton Hall the other night. And also NJ Benson played really well against the Pirates for DePaul. Both of those players scored around 16, 17 points for the Blue Demons on their way to a victory. Jacob Mayer, if you remember me talking about him in early January in the videos and in our WXU broadcast, he was coming off the bench to begin the season, then was slotted into the starting lineup, but now is kind of on the bench again, but he still plays 20, 25 points or 25 minutes per game, and he's still scoring about 12 points per game, so something to keep an eye on there. They're a decent rebounding team, about 35 rebounds per contest, but like I said, their defense really struggles. Their offense will turn the ball over. They will commit turnovers, and they really have a hard time at forcing turnovers and forcing steals on the defensive side of the basketball. So this is a game that Villanova is favored by 5 or 6 points to win, but on the road, especially in the Big East, you cannot take anything for granted. Tonight's game will begin at 9 p.m. from Wintrust Arena in Chicago, Illinois. Won't have any WXVU broadcasting coverage as I am still here at Villanova, but I will have some coverage on my social media, so hope that you can tune in there. Villanova, as I said, desperately needs a victory tonight. They'll play a much weaker DePaul Blue Demons team who has only 2 conference wins this season. Thanks for tuning in to this Villanova versus DePaul preview video for men's basketball. I'll see you in the next video. See you tonight on social media for some coverage during the game. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, Nova Nation, and as always, go Cats!